but it's all sewn together. And chains where I, would attach these two. So this is gonna show. Oh, I want to be done. I want to be done with this project. And I can see my subscription box in the thumbnails.
Sincerely, Jessica. Ooh, I'm excited. Are you ready? This is the fall Berg box, cottage core forest.
It's a sleeve. Okay, it looks way, and it's working out very nicely. Here's what they look like. Your ends are woven in. It's like, God. What to expect in terms of how many people would. Hi, my name is Jessica from Berg's Crochet, and welcome back to another cozy crochet vlog. We are picking up today right where we left off last week. Last week, I started the process of making a Christmas granny square button-down short sleeve shirt for my husband Michael, and I really wanted to finish it in that video, but alas, it was not meant to be. So we are going to be finishing that project, finishing it in this vlog. Just to do a little visual recap, and first of all, go watch the first part, last week's vlog. I'll link it here if you would like to watch it if you haven't yet. But just by way of a small recap, I've always wanted to say this. Previously on Berg's Nest Crochet.
Is there anything else that you like to go to just like?
It is finished. Oh my gosh. It's starting to look like something. So welcome back to present day, October 19th, Sunday, and I am going to go live to work on some more squares, but I did have a little bit of footage that I recorded from last time that was going to be part of the first vlog when I was going to do this all in one shot. But since I decided to break it up into two videos, I still had some footage from last time that I didn't include because I thought it would make more sense to add into a part two. So let's go through that stuff and then we'll come back to present day and we'll keep making new progress. Good morning, it's Tuesday. We're still doing things. We have not finished the shirt or this vlog. It's fine. I have my coffee. I've gotten the morning routine stuff done. I've gotten myself ready for the day. I had breakfast. I had quiet time with Jesus. I have coffee. I've officially finished the folded tags for the winter boxes, but that's not what we're here to talk about. I also have some custom orders running on a laser. Once again, not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about this shirt, and I have not started working on it today yet. I actually did decide to put everything away because I just needed a clean slate in here. It was getting a little crazy, but I have all of my supplies right here. So let's see what we got. Our pattern. We have the hook we've been using for this project. We have embroidery scissors. We have the stack of full squares that we still have, and part of me thinks that the math is not mathing. I know we're going to use a few more squares to make the sleeves, but I still feel like there's more than enough here. The triangle pieces and some extra yarn that we've been using for stitching together. These are all of my half squares, rectangles. I've got my yarn spindle with extra yarn. We'll use that when we're doing all the finishing stuff. And then of course we have our project, which is quite important. Last night I put the shoulder panels together with some stitch markers so that we could get a visual for how this thing was working up. This is the back and this is the front. And I believe our next step is to stitch across the top here. Let us refer to the pattern. Sew the edge of your front panel's topmost full square to the top edge of the back panel, starting at the corner and working inward until the front panel's full square is completely attached. So in our case, we have two squares since we added a little bit of extra width. That's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna stitch stitch across here. And then the next thing we're supposed to do is add those half squares here. I'm gonna have Michael try it on after I get this done though, because that's what I wanna see is like, where is it? Are the two sides meeting in the middle, or do we need those extra squares? I guess for the shaping of it, we want that regardless, because this is the collar and it's gonna be wonky if we don't add those anyway. I think a little extra is never a bad thing. I love that I've been able to use up these little pieces. I'm pretty sure what created these, because it's like, why do I have all these long scraps? I think what created these is when I was making the squares originally, there were certain colors that I wanted to achieve, and it was like I could get a full square of one solid color if I started at a certain point. So I think there were a couple times where I was like pulling yarn to get to the next color so that I would have a full solid square, and that's why I have all those scraps, if I remember correctly. It was like a year ago.
Yeah. Our beautiful family, the four of us.
Before we get to Aziz, who, like you, I think has a very specific culture.
Or like a trend, or like an anti-trend.
What have been some past ways that we've named the seasons? I can think of a few. High school art teacher.
High school art teacher, Japanese winter.
Tired ballerina.
Tired ballerina.
Progress, progress, progress. We have a vest that is not yet a shirt, but it's all sewn together. Now, the moment of truth. We gotta have Michael try this thing on. He's working right now, and as long as he's not on a call, I can have him try it on, but I don't think I can necessarily record it at this moment. So I'm just gonna go see how this fits, and then obviously we'll have him try it on again later where I can fully get it on camera, but I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back. Okay, Michael has tried this on, and it's way better than last time. There are a few things. First of all, I wish that there was more space between the neck, because this part, the diagonal part, is kind of cutting into his neck a little bit. So I'm really hoping that blocking this is gonna help open it up a little more. It's not like crazy tight, but it's a little more snug around the neck than I would prefer. It does not feel like he was I asked him to kind of like flex and move in it a little bit, and it didn't feel tight across his back. We do need those rectangle pieces, indeed we do, to get all the way around to meet in the front. I asked him how he felt about the length. He did say he would like it to be a little longer. I'm gonna see where we land once we do some blocking, because that's gonna, I think, expand this overall, but I do like the idea of doing a double crochet border around the bottom to give us just a little bit extra length. And I think between the blocking and that, it'll get us where we want to be. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is stitching a row of our half squares all the way down each side. And then I'm probably going to have him try it on again to see if that helps meet in the middle a little bit more.
Oh, thank you.
Get those tears going, Aziz. Let's get those tears going.
Okay, I'm working my way down this row of rectangles, and this is interesting because this is the first time that I've been sewing squares together where it's not perfectly matched up stitch for stitch, because I'm going along the edge of these rectangles. So like, here's the finished edge with the stitches, right? But I want that finished edge to be what is along the edge of the shirt. So I'm attaching here my turning chains where I, would start the new row. So it's a little less exact, and I always feel a little bit apprehensive about stitching or crocheting into something, or crocheting it together, stitching it together, where it's not stitch for stitch, because it's a little bit like you know, oh, I hope it all lines up, and there's that part of me that wants it to be exact. But when you're doing something like this, it's not always exact. And so you want it to at least be even, you know, you don't want to get to the end of it and have one piece where you've still got a bunch left. Luckily, this is matching up pretty nicely, even though it's not exact. I'm on the 5th one now, so I'm starting to kind of get a feel for how to do it so that it looks nice and even. But anyway, we're just working our way down.
Kitchen, so it made it less intimidating. But season 2 took place in Italy, so before we filmed it, I went and lived in this town in Italy, and
I have added all of the rectangles down the fronts, and I do wish that I had done this before. Like, I don't know why it didn't say this to do this at the beginning when we were doing the entire front panel, because then I could have gone horizontally all the way across, but now I just have these pieces to seam together, you know? Like, could we have not done that at the same time as the other ones? All of the little, I haven't woven in ends from the places where we've been stitching, so it actually works out because I think on most of these I'll have a long enough tail to just use that to stitch across rather than attaching yet another piece of yarn. So I think I'm gonna try and do that to save myself extra ends to weave in, because who wants to give themselves more ends to weave in? It couldn't be me. We are very close. We are approaching the part of this project where we get to add sleeves. And that's definitely a part of this project that I have not gotten to yet. Up to this point, I've done everything in this pattern once before when I was making the version of this that turned out to be my sweater vest, but we're getting to new territory here, so that's all right. So that took like 2 seconds. It didn't take very long. So I'm just gonna keep using these little pieces that are already here and go down the line. Yeah, it looks like all these pieces so far. That one might be cutting it a little close. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Great news, friends. We finished stitching together all the rectangle pieces. I just took it downstairs and had Michael try it on, and it is fitting pretty well. It's fitting good. He said that it doesn't feel too tight around his neck, that it feels about what you would feel for a short sleeve, like a collared button down. For a collared button down shirt, the rectangles did help bring it to where they actually overlap a little bit for buttoning, which is perfect. So we are ready to move on to creating the sleeves. You will need 2 sleeves, 1 for each sleeve hole. Great. To create a sleeve, you first create 1 large loop made up of 5.5 squares, all connected together in the loop. Next, stack another loop, so it is now 2 squares tall. Lastly, sew 1.5 square to the top of your loop. Sew a diagonal square, triangle, on either end of the squares. When flattened, your sleeve should look like this. It's kind of like a house shape, like that. Then sew your sleeves to each of the sleeve holes. The stitch count is not important to line up at this step. Instead, pin the sleeve to the top and bottom of your sleeve hole at the midpoint so that when you sew, it will be spaced out evenly. See, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, I want it to line up perfectly. So this is where I'm feeling like, I don't think I have enough squares. I think I still need to make more squares, because we need 5.5 and then another 5.5 so I need the half pieces I have here. Half, 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 half. I think I'm short a few things. Murdoch. Tell me. She loves this microphone. If I need 10 squares for each sleeve, that means I need 20 more total squares. And do I have 20 here? I don't think I have 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 5. Oh wait, I see a square in here. 6. Any more hiding in here? Nope. So somehow I'm 4 squares short. I guess let's just get going with the first sleeve and see what it looks like and make sure that the count is what I really need and that that's all working the way it's supposed to. So I need to start attaching them end to end until it goes all the way around in a loop. Let's do it. There's going to be a lot of ends to weave in when I'm finished with this thing, but I'm hesitant to start weaving in ends until I know that everything's right, you know? That's burned me a couple of times where I start weaving in ends because I'm trying to be proactive and I'm trying to, you know, stay ahead and, you know, do everything really nice. And then I realize that something's wrong and I have to frog it, and it's way harder. It's way harder to frog something when you have ends woven in. Am I delusional? Like, LOL at me thinking I was gonna be able to finish this on Sunday. I would have been able to get a lot farther if we hadn't had things going on. I forgot that we had things going on. And now I'm like, I wanted to finish it yesterday, still didn't get it finished yesterday. So now I want to get it finished today. And then I still have to edit this whole vlog. And are both of those things gonna happen today? I need them to. We are doing the dang thing. This is a project that I have been thinking about, and it's been weighing on my brain as this like eternal checklist item. It's something that's just been on my mind consistently in the back of my mind for almost a year now, going, you still have to finish that project. You really should finish that project. Every time I saw the squares in my dresser or my cubby thing, I was like, I really should pick those up and do some work, and I just never could convince myself to do it. But here we are, we finally did. We finally did do it. And I've gotten past the scariest part of like, is this thing actually gonna fit him? In the biggest, most meaningful ways, we know that it does fit. So we're just in the finishing touches phase. Stitch together these sleeves. Once the sleeves are done, we're gonna do the collar. I'm getting good at stitching granny squares together pretty fast. So I guess that's a bonus. I had Michael try this sleeve. I didn't stitch this on, I just attached it with stitch markers. So I know it's a little more gappy, but we tried to kind of like hold it, you know, where it would be if it were stitched. And this was nice and roomy on him. There was still some extra space there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this into place, and then we're gonna make another loop, attach these 2 loops together, and then attach the loops. Wait, there's still one other piece, but anyway, we're gonna keep working on the sleeves now that we know that this sizing is what we want. We're working on the sleeves. The sleeves are composed of 2 of these loops stitched together, right? So I've made the 2 loops. I have not stitched them together end to end yet. But then the next thing I'm supposed to do is, so for his size, it says 1.5 squares. So that means 1 full square and 1 of these rectangles. To the top of your loop, then sew a diagonal square on either end of this square. So the 2 triangles, right? In the diagram it says, when flattened, your sleeve should look like this. But this is accounting for the sizes that are only using 1 square, not 1.5. These are like the little halves, you know? So if I do a 1.5 squares, I guess it's just not gonna be centered. And it's gonna be the under part of the sleeve, so it's not a huge deal, but it still kind of annoys me, you know? Like I would want the half to be lined up with the halves, but then I would have to place the triangles on either side and it would not be, let me see if I can kind of show you guys what I mean. So if it were a size where it was just supposed to be one square, you would just kind of center the square and then do either one, and then boom, there you go. And that's what the sleeve looks like flattened. You attach this all to one side. If you throw in this, then all of a sudden these are gonna start wrapping around the other side, which is fine, but then it's like, I guess I just do that. I hate that. Like I hate how it's uneven, but I guess I just need to get over it because you're not really gonna see it. It just bothers me. I want it to be even. But the only way for me to make it even, like this way, is to do this, but then like I said, then if I do that, I have to still put these on either side, and then that kicks this part, it's gonna shift the whole thing so that it's more visible, and I don't really want this part to be more visible, so I guess I just need to get over it. Center these two so that the entire thing is centered. I think that's what I'm doing. I think that's what we're gonna go with. This is feeling like the project that never ends, but hear me when I say, I'm gonna finish this dang thing if it's the last thing I do. I'm like a dog with a bone right now, okay? I know there's other things I could be doing, but this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to finish it. Okay, so let's keep working. There's ends everywhere, but my first sleeve, albeit a little patchworky because of the extra half, is completely attached. So the next step is to take our shirt. So here's the sleeve hole. I hope this isn't totally wonky, but we're supposed to fit this part. Oh, gross. This is not the underside, this is the top side. So this is gonna show? Yucky, why would you do that? I don't like that. I mean, I guess, yeah, I should have thought about that. Like, of course, the extra part is gonna be the part that goes up and over the shoulder, but that means that this part is gonna be visible. I don't like that. Wow, I don't love that, but it is what it is. Let's just pin it in place and see what it looks like, I guess. See, I feel like I should have had 2 squares here and not a half. It's not the end of the world if I have to redo it. Let me just see. I'm gonna try and stitch it in place, like if that were to be the case, if I were to have 2 squares wide instead of 1.5. Because I did make, you know, I did make some slight sizing adjustments to the pattern, and I knew that that was probably going to affect things. And if it'll match up evenly and nicely, then I will take this apart, because that's why I wanted to do one complete sleeve first before I made both sleeves, because I'm going to get it right on this one, and then the second one I'll already know how exactly to do this, but I do believe this is lining up to where I really want 2 squares. Yeah, I think that's what it's looking like. So I've stitched together at the end points of each square. Where are we here? So here's our sleeve. Okay. From the front, you almost can't tell. That looks perfect. It's stitched all the way around except right here. This is a half piece. And if I had a whole square, right? I unstitched everything so I could do the math. In the pattern, it says the stitch count is not important to line up at this step, but just like space it out evenly. But I'm like, doesn't it matter? I'm missing a whole granny square here. I have to make up an entire side of a granny square between the stitches. I don't want to do that. Currently, I counted it out. On this sleeve hole gap, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares that need to be sewn onto. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one of which is a half square. So if I take out this square, the half square, and add a full square, I'm still 1 square short of making it all the way around. And that might not be a pattern issue. That might be a I changed the pattern issue, the sizing of it, the width and everything. And that's probably what it is. I'm not going to sit here and try and figure it all out because that's not my brain. I have a hard time with this stuff, you guys. I have a hard time with this stuff, and I hope that you maybe can understand where I'm coming from. The sleeve part is a good fit. If I add a whole square, a whole 2 squares, the question is now, would this part be wrapping around too much? I don't think it would, because there's 3 squares across the top, and then I would have 3 squares across the top, the triangle, and then is it 2 on the other side? Right now it's more like 3, but if I added other squares, my brain is really having a hard time with this. I don't know, man. I'm going to think about this and I'll come back to you when I have a plan. I've decided I'm going to undo this. I think I know what I want to do. Adding on to the width of the shirt definitely changed the proportions of everything. And that was the biggest part. This is going to take me a minute to undo. It's unfortunate that I didn't catch this before I started putting everything together. Making adjustments to something like this and then just seeing down the line how it affects the overall pattern and how everything comes together always gives me a fresh appreciation for pattern designers, because truly, you guys, it could never be me. I just think, dang, if that's something that your brain can work in that way to think of how to piece it all together so that it works, it's just not me. Anyway, I'm going to get this back into individual squares, and then I'm going to take a look and see if what I'm thinking in my mind will work in reality. I should be able to figure that out by using a bunch of stitch markers and stuff before I actually sew it all together, so we'll make sure that the next time we do it, it's right. I do not care to admit how long it took me to figure that out. But I think I figured it out. Basically, the sleeves are just going to have to end up being bigger than we initially would have wanted them to be, but that's how we have to do it to accommodate the increase that we did in the size. So I need to crochet 2 more squares to be able to even finish this sleeve. And I just hope that it doesn't look too silly, because they're going to be large sleeves, but that's how it's got to be. I have arranged and rearranged this sleeve about 1 billion times trying to figure out what is the method that's going to work, but I have figured it out. I've got lots of stitch markers holding together all the different connecting points, and I just need to kind of take note of where we're at and then carefully disassemble the stitch markers to re-stitch it up, and then I'll be able to make the second one. Oh, I want to be done. I want to be done with this project. I have to crochet 2 more squares. I finished the first one, I just started the second, just to finish the one sleeve. And because the sleeve needs more squares than I was originally thinking, I have to crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have to crochet 16 more squares just to be able to stitch this together. And then I still have to do the collar and the edging and sewing on the buttons and weaving in ends and blocking. There's absolutely no way I'm getting that done tonight or even this week, realistically. This project is just more. It's more than I was anticipating it was going to be to finish. At least I know now what I need to do to be able to finish this thing. Okay, so we're finally back. We're all caught up. Tonight I am planning to go live for a little bit because I still have a few more squares to finish crocheting to have those additional 16 squares to be able to hopefully finally finish this thing 100%. I've been working on them over the course of the week after I finished recording that day, just kind of whenever I have a moment or two to pick up my yarn and my hook. The nice thing is that those squares are quick. They don't take a lot of time. So I actually managed to get several of them done at my Hot Cocoa Bomb event this past weekend. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I need to actually count them and see how many I have left. There are technically other things I could do during the live tonight. I could start stitching it together. I could work on orders, but I think I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm just gonna do a crochet and chat. So if I finish all the squares before I want to be done with my live, I'll probably work on another project. And there is another project that I have been working on a little bit. Just as a little recap, Murdoch's coming to say hi. Hi. Oh, okay, and she's gone. We won't spend long in the WIP recap zone because I know we want to get to the main reason we're all here, the shirts, but just so that we're all up to date on what we're currently working on. I still have my mom's capelet that I'm working on, and that's what I was working on last night when I just wanted to crochet a little something, but I didn't want to. I was kind of saving the squares for my live, basically. This pattern's only 25 rounds total, and I am officially on the last page of instructions. I just finished round 18 last night, so we just have 19 through 25 left. And I also finished up the yarn that I had already wound because we're doing this project double-stranded. We purchased 3 of these cakes of cotton thread, and I used the first 2, like pulled from them at the same time. And then this one I'm gonna do, I think I'll probably wind half of it and then I'll have my 2 pieces, and this should be enough to finish the rest of it. We shall see though. I might work on that during the live a little bit this evening. And then the only other project that I have currently in progress is my lacy garden top. I did show you guys the last time I was working on this. This was in a previous vlog. These panels that are gonna make up the shirt. This one is the one that's finished, yeah. And then I was in progress of the second one when I ran out of the yarn. And my plan was if I ran out of this color yarn that has the like orange and cream woven in there together, that I would get a very similar feeling cream colored yarn to finish it, so it would almost have a little bit of a stripe situation. And I did run out of the yarn, and I purchased this Loops and Threads Luxe Merino Wool Blend. It's a weight 3, and I think that it pulls in the cream that's already intertwined into this pretty nicely. So this is another WIP that I think will be what we turn our attention to after we finish the Christmas Granny Square shirt. But I don't think we're going to work on this today. I just want to let you guys know I did get the yarn to finish this. It's on the docket. Very cute, 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 cute. I'll insert a little picture of Duncan and Murdoch. They are not fully cuddling together yet, but they are like getting closer, and it's the most precious thing ever. Real quick, I'm just gonna show you what the capelet is looking like after I finished round 18 last night, since we haven't had an update on this one in a while. I have literally this much of this crochet thread left, and this is where we're at. It's very hard to get a good sense for what this looks like when you just hold it up like that, because the stitches are pretty intricate, and you kind of need it against like a a solid, bright, high contrast background to fully see it. This project is a fun one, and I do think this would be a fun one to work on the live if I can finish my crochet squares in a decent amount of time. So speaking of that, let's go grab my crochet bag and see how many squares we have managed to make and how many we have left to go. Crochet bag acquired. I already had these 4 in here that were done. Apparently I still need to weave in my ends on this one, but we already had these 4. Between my market and a couple other free moments of crocheting, I was able to accomplish, so 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this 9th one is almost finished. Okay, that's enough to keep me busy during this live, I suspect. I think I am going to eat my leftovers from lunch. Michael and I went to one of our fave places, Glass Onion Griddle. Actually, they recently started opening up for dinner, but they used to just do breakfast and lunch. And they have a sandwich that is my absolute favorite. It's called the California. And it's kind of like a turkey Reuben. They smoke their own turkey breast, and it's so good. And it comes with Russian dressing and coleslaw and cheese, and I only had half of this. It's a big sandwich. I only had half of it, and I saved the other half for dinner, and I'm hungry now, so I'm gonna enjoy this, and then I'll probably just go ahead and go live. I have all my stuff set up. I'm ready to go, so I might as well, you know? It's so good. Look at that. I'd rather have you go after what's on screen than what's actually happening. She loves, like, computer screens. What's on computer screens. Hey. Good morning. It is Monday, and holy smokes, you guys, it's cozy. It's 48 degrees outside. I'm cozy. I got my coffee. It is feeling like fall. Our live last night was so much fun. We finished all the squares, so we now have all 16 squares that we need to hopefully have enough to finish this project. I had a blast on the live. I think it's the most people we've ever had in a live so far. Ended up having a few people become members of the channel, which I didn't even ask for. You guys just did it. And actually this morning, this isn't shirt related, but it is fun. I just got the little custom badges set up. So if you become a member of the channel and you join in a live, you'll have a little custom badge next to your username, and it changes the longer that you're a member, so you get to kind of upgrade to different badges and everything, which is really cool. I think that's super fun. Spent some time already this morning working on that. I do have some custom orders. One of my big items on the list today is to get all of my custom orders current and out the door. But while the laser is running, we're going to be working on this shirt. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off with the shirt. We're going to be working on the sleeves. But welcome to a new week. Let's get going. Hi, it's just after 1 o'clock and I'm working on sewing together squares for the sleeve right now. While I'm sitting here working, I have a little cha-ching and I can see that it is for a Berg Box quarterly subscription. And I just had this feeling. I was like, you know, Kelsey, Passionate Kelsey said she was going to be posting a new mail video sometime soon. I wonder if it's because of that. So I opened up the order and the order did use Kelsey's discount code. So I went and checked my subscriptions and sure enough, there is a new mail video in my sub feed and I can see my subscription box in the thumbnail. So shall we watch it while we're stitching? This is always so exciting. Okay, now this whole video is a half hour long. I am going to scroll through. I don't want to make, I don't want to make you guys wait for the whole thing. I'm just going to record my reaction. I'm not going to record the video itself.
I like this little pink box. Oh yeah, I think I know what that is. I'm pretty sure I got one of these in my last PO box. I think it's a subscription box.
Oh!
I think it's like a yarn subscription box. Could be wrong. Okay, so last time we got it, it was like strawberry lemonade themed. This one looks like it's fall themed.
It smells like something smells scented. Ooh, there's a note for you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing my summer Berg Box in your mail video. It totally made my day to see it included. I'm so excited to share my fall Berg Box to enjoy. It has all the cozy fall vibes. I know you'll love it. The discount code I created for your community is still active, so feel free to share it again if you'd like. Passionate5 for 10% off your Berg Box. Sincerely, Jessica. Ooh, I'm excited. Are you ready? This is the fall Berg Box Cottage Core Forest Floor.
Ooh.
Oh, a wax melt.
That's what would smell good.
We have cottage core stitch markers.
Ooh, that smells really good. Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Brooke, smell this.
Yeah.
That's so pretty.
Look at these special stitch markers. That's beautiful, huh? Oh, right. There's a free pattern in here, so you scan this QR code for the pattern.
Okay, here's the yarn.
Look at the yarn, look at the yarn.
I finally got it out. Okay, this is what the yarn looks like. Dune DK, 85% superwash, extra fine merino wool. I really like it. I like it. You know what this reminds me of? A trout. This reminds me of a fish.
A rainbow trout.
Yeah, rainbow trout.
It does.
I just saw a bunch of those.
There's some fall stickers in here. The free pattern was a very cool granny tote bag. Leather tags with some fall creatures on them. There's a squirrel and there's some deer.
Oh my gosh, these are so cool.
And then there is a set of pencils, which is nice, convenient.
Look at the little mouse in the teacup. I just saw the mouse in the mouse in the cup.
This is a pretty good subscription box.
Yes,
So good. These are my favorite. The mouse in the teacup and the hedgehog underneath the mushroom. They're my favorites.
Cool. Thank you, Jessica.
I want to do the Halloween one.
Okay.
Okay, having her friends be there and like hearing multiple people like ooh and ah over it is really it's really giving me life today. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so glad they loved it. Yay. Okay, well, that just totally made my day. I'm going to continue stitching. Okay, I am sewing together the last little piece of the sleeve here. This took me a while, and I think part of the reason it took me a while is because I went about this one in a weird way because I put this sleeve together and I thought I had it right, and you guys saw that earlier, and then I was realizing it wasn't right and I was getting really frustrated and trying to figure out what was gonna make it work. And when I eventually did make it work, it was held together by like thoughts and prayers and 27 stitch markers. And I didn't want to undo it because I had finally figured out how to get it right after so many iterations of trying to put it all together. it was a bit odd trying to stitch it together and figure out the most efficient way to do it without taking it apart. But now that I am coming to the end of this one, I think the second sleeve will go a little smoother and faster because I can put the whole thing together and then attach it to the armhole instead of trying to piece it all together while it's attached. I am very much not looking forward to weaving in the 547 ends that I have created. Stitching all of these squares together, it's like every time I come to a corner, I feel like there's 7 different ends sticking out. And that's gonna take some time. But you wanna know a little secret? Today is October 20th, and I'm ready to watch a Christmas movie. Come after me if you must, but that's just how I feel. I'm just being honest with you. I feel like putting on a Christmas movie while weaving in all these ends. I mean, it's a Christmas shirt too, okay? So like, get off my back. I just feel like it would make the job a little more pleasant. That's how I'm feeling. Let's take a look at this sleeve now that I've finished. Like, I mean, do you see all these ends? This is ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we have a sleeve. She needs a little bit of blocking. This little triangle is fighting to retain its shape. It's a sleeve. It works. It's not wonky. I really hope and pray that blocking is gonna do everything that I'm hoping it's going to do for this. It's not like it's horrible, but I just think that there's the potential for blocking to really make a big difference in how this looks. But sleeve number 1 is done. Holy cow. We're trusting the process. We're trusting the process, and we are continuing on to sleeve number 2. Good morning, it's Tuesday. Yesterday we got a lot accomplished. I did finish yesterday all of the custom orders that I have. I have a nice little stack of subscription boxes and mailers, but I have since gotten a couple more custom orders, which is great. Today is gonna be the last day that I will work on orders coming in, and then anything new that comes in is gonna have to wait until next week, but I already finished one of the 2. It was an order for my stocking hangers. Have you guys seen these? They haven't been cleaned yet, so they're a little cloudy. They don't look as nice as they will once they're cleaned, but these are my stocking hangers. If you crochet or knit little stockings, it comes with the little holes, you can stitch them on. And I have a few different designs. These are my snowflake ones, but I also have Christmas trees and a few other varieties. So go and check those out on my website if you would like. I had a couple orders for hook minders that I made yesterday, and then it always seems to happen this way because the hook minders are their own thing. You gotta get out the sponges and you gotta paint and you gotta sand, and like, it's a whole thing. So I like to make them all at once. You know, it's a lot easier to make a bulk amount of them than to piecemeal and do them one at a time because you got to get all the supplies out and everything. And as soon as I finished making the 2 sets that had been ordered, I got an order for 2 more sets. So I have hook minders engraving right now. And if I was not in a really super busy season, I would just go ahead and make like 10 sets of them. I don't see that item going away anytime soon. Like, they have been a consistent thing that has sold on my website, but I don't have time to bulk make that item right now. So even though in the long run it would be more efficient to make a bunch of them, I'm only making the ones that have been ordered today because I need to have my laser working on other things specifically for the winter box. I don't have time to just keep making stuff if it's not something that needs to go out the door like right away. So that's where we're at. I did not make a whole lot of progress on the shirt after I last saw you yesterday because there was just a lot to be done. Like I said, between the custom orders and a few other things I needed to do, I did not have as much time to work on the shirt as I wanted to. I dropped a square. Oh, that's gotta flip. There we go. This is where we're at currently with the second sleeve. We obviously still have some squares to add on. but we're making good progress. I'm going to finish this sleeve. I'm going to attach the second sleeve, try it on Michael, see how it's looking, and then the next step, I believe, is the collar. I have some winter Berg box, the next item in the box. I need to get going in the laser because while I'm working all day on this shirt, I can also have things going on the laser because that's like, I need to make the most of my time. It's another time crunch, and that's just how it's gonna be every week. I do think once I get past this shirt and we finish this little mini vlog series about this shirt, things will calm down a little bit more, and the vlogs that I can do from this point forward, I'm not going to pick as intensive of projects. I did need to finish this. I need to finish this so that it's done by Christmas time. But once this is out of the way, the vlogs can be a little more chill. They won't feel so demanding of like, I have to finish the thing so I can do this and like get the vlog done in time. I'm not going to do that to myself past this project. So we just need to get through this, and then hopefully it'll be ever so slightly more chill. I have my coffee. It is a beautiful fall morning. Let's get into it. One outfit change later because we had Sloppy Joes for lunch, and let's just say they lived up to their name. I have finished sewing together all of the squares for the sleeve vertically. So that's one side, this is the other. And now I need to go across these long rows. Just this one and then this one here. And then we're ready to attach this thing to the shirt. And boy, am I ready to be finished with this part of the process in particular. I'm done. I'm done with the sleeves. I want to move on to something else. So let's get this done. The laser's working on winter Berg box stuff, so that's also in progress, and I'm feeling very productive today. And I'm watching some vlogs. And these bangs dried really annoying, and I just need to address it because I don't want you guys to think I did this on purpose. It's really annoying me. This part is nice, and then what happened here? I didn't get enough with my roller brush, and it just went wah, and it's like this angle, and I feel like I've got like this emo sideswept bang thing going on, and it's just not my jam. I'm watching TL Yarn Crafts. Why didn't you guys tell me about her? I mean, I know about her, but like, I hadn't really, I'm just now getting into her videos, and she lives right by me. She's in the Detroit area. They're talking about going to Ann Arbor Fiber Festival and a small one in Detroit that I didn't know about, and I'm like, I want to be friends with her. Because we live close. Like, it's totally realistic that we could run into each other in the real world, just like randomly. All right, we have a complete sleeve. That took longer than I wanted it to, but we are now ready to add this thing on to the shirt, and then we will have sleeves on the shirt. Oh my freaking... You look so high fashion. That's why aren't... Okay, it looks way more finished from the back because there's not as many ends hanging out. So, okay, you guys, it freaking fits. And it looks like a shirt. We don't care about your socks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So obviously we have 3,000 ends to weave in. And it looks a little wonky in terms of, like, it's not draping and hanging exactly the way we want it to yet because the yarn's a little stiff. It's gonna drape way better once it's washed and blocking. But, like, the collar part, that's sitting really nice. We're gonna do a double crochet row on the bottom to add a little length. Do you think you'll button it or do you think you'll leave it unbuttoned?
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit of both, maybe.
Depends on the scenario. Mostly unbuttoned.
Yeah. Michael says he's gonna bring it on our cruise and wear it without a shirt underneath.
I'll give you guys a preview.
I gotta keep this monetization friendly, Michael. You can't be getting undressed on camera.
My bad.
Anyway, it fits. The sleeves are big, but there unfortunately was just no way around that. And it looks a little more pronounced right now because it hasn't been washed yet, so the sleeves are still kind of like sticking out a little bit. But once they're more relaxed, I think it's not going to be as big of a deal. So we're moving on to the collar. Collar.
Holler for the collar.
I barely know her. Michael has left for his evening game night, and I am going to keep working on this. I had a little bit of dinner. I feel like I said already that we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it's really feeling like that now. Seeing it on him and seeing that, like, yes, indeed, it does fit is very encouraging. Even though there's a couple things that are a little bit wonky, but, like, we're not totally done yet. So it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect yet. Realistically, it's not going to be perfect anyway. We're ready to move on to the collar. I'm a little bit nervous about the collar because I made changes to the width and how it was all put together. I was worried that the collar was going to change the look of it or change the way that it fit around the neck because of the changes that I made. But looking at this, basically you either do 42, 52, or 62 rounds, or rows, I guess. It says round, but it's rows. Just based on the different sizes, and then you just sew the edges of the collar to the neckline. It's not like this super specific placement. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go to 52 rounds, and it's just basically double crochet back and forth. I'm going to line it up to the neckline, see how it looks, kind of stitch mark it in place to see how it's looking, and then make a determination from there if we want to add on the final 10 rows or sew it on as is. We are cruising along on this collar piece. It's working up pretty quickly. I am approaching the halfway point. I just finished row 22. I've been working on this while watching a show, and I've gotten all of this done after I started an episode. I haven't quite finished the episode yet, so I feel like I'm making pretty good time. Doing these double crochets actually feels really nice. Do you guys ever have this phenomenon where if you're doing the same stitch or the same type of thing over and over again, when you finally get to do something a little different, it just feels like such a pleasant break from the monotony of whatever you were doing previously? And it's working up very nicely. We've got some self-striping going on. Part of me wants a solid color collar. In any other project, that's something that I would want. But for this project specifically, it almost feels like the weirder the better. The more unhinged, the better. Feeling good that the laser is making progress this whole day as well. And just, wow, really, really, really excited to be able to check this project off the list. And I do think that Michael and I might be having our belated birthday crochet coffee shop day maybe on Sunday after church. I'm not sure yet if that's what we're gonna do. But if we do, this project will be done by then, so I won't need to worry about working on this. I could work on the lacy garden top, which is the next WIP that I would like to finish. But part of me feels like, first of all, I'm gonna wanna be able to try that piece on as I'm working on stuff, so maybe coffee shop is not the best place to work on that. But also the whole point of that day and that experience is to have it be a really fun, relaxing birthday treat. Finishing up a WIP doesn't sound like a treat. Starting a new fun project sounds like a treat. And I know what project I would like to start next. It's that cat sling that I bought the pattern for. I was telling you guys about it in another vlog, where it's almost like a baby sling, but it's for cats. And you wear it like across your shoulder, over your shoulder and across your chest, and they can kind of like sleep in there and be cozy. I've been wanting to make one of those for Murdoch. She's getting big so fast. Maybe it's good that I've waited until now. She's a little bigger, and I can realize like, oh yeah, I need to make this to be big enough to accommodate her as she's growing. But that's a project that I feel is short. It's not a huge project that's going to take me a really long time, so I could even realistically finish it while we're there at the coffee shop, depending on how long we're able to stay. And that is something that I am excited about and I do really want to make. So maybe that will be my coffee shop project. And then I think I'm just going to have to do a vlog here soon where it's going to be a like, let's finish the projects type vlog, where we finish my mom's capelet and we finish the lacy garden top. I was going to say cup cozies, but I think the cup cozies are going to need to be their own vlog. I think that'll be a fun challenge vlog of like, how many cup cozies can I make in a day? I will say that I do have more WIPs right now than I normally like to have. I really typically only like to have a smaller project and a bigger project. So I'm looking forward to hopefully finishing some things, being able to like not have so many projects going at once. You know what else we'll need to do? I'm just yapping. Okay, we're just yapping for a little bit. This is fine. You know what else I'm excited to do though is like a Christmas present vlog. I know there's a couple things that my mom was sending me saying that she would love to have, and she basically told me like, well, you've got some content for your vlogs, because my mom gets it. I need to ask my sister if there's anything I could make for the niece and nephew. There's several things that I'd love to make, and I don't have to say it again. You guys know this is a very busy time for me, so I gotta see what's realistic. What can I realistically make for Christmas? Because it's not going to be a whole huge list of things, but that would be a fun vlog too. Or like series of vlogs, honestly, because if I make a few things, that could be a few vlogs. We're approaching row 30 of our collar. I'm going to go and I'll check back in with you probably when it's long enough to test it out against the shirt. I reached row 42 and I stitched this on to the center and it's not quite there. Basically we want the collar to reach like halfway into this rectangle piece, and this is, I like centered it, so we need that much more on this side and on the other side. So I'm going to do the next 10 rows, get to 52, and I think that's going to do it for us. Okay, quick update. I just decided to pin the one end of this, and by pin I mean stitch mark it, where we want it to be. And then I just kind of stitch marked across a couple of places to keep it in general, like in the right spot. And I pinned up to the center point so that now I can just keep working on this end and every once in a while kind of hold it up against this and see how long it takes. Like I'll know a little bit easier. I can check it easier to see if it's where we need it to be.
Yes, sir. And to be respectful to the council's time, we've had Denny's blood tested. All right, we're in business. One final condition.
54 ended up being the magic number. I've pinned this all along except for basically the very end here, but holding it up, it's landing in the right spot. So I'm gonna fasten off. I could have left a long tail and sewed that in. That would have been smart. I'm not exactly firing on all cylinders. I think this project is frying my brain. We are gonna start seaming all the way down. We're gonna start stitching this thing together. We are so close. We are so close. There's not really a right and wrong side to this, I suppose, because we've just gone back and forth with the double crochets, so that doesn't really matter. Alright, so this is another one of those scenarios where the stitches don't necessarily line up exactly perfectly. This is the part of the show where it's like, this is not really fun. You just kind of do it, and every little bit of effort gets you closer to having a finished product, you know? Last year, was it last year or 2 years ago, I launched a Christmas themed collection of stuff on my website. One of the items in the collection was buttons, wooden engraved Christmas buttons. I made a few different designs and styles of buttons, and I let Michael choose which one he wanted to use for the shirt, and he chose the snowflake buttons. And I believe I have some already made, because I made like sample pieces, you know, to take photos of for the website. So I might actually have some, but I don't know that if I have any, I don't know that I have enough. This is coming along. I'm gonna keep working on this. Things are happening and progress is being made. The collar is attached and I think it looks great. Kind of hard to show you guys exactly how it looks because it all looks a little wonky right now. It did stitch on nicely. It folds over pretty nicely. I can't even tell visually if you guys are really getting that, but I am going to do the little edge part that I was talking about next, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to start at the top of the shirt. I'm going to go down to the bottom, around the edge of the hem, and back up the other side so I can do it in one continuous strand. And I am going to crochet over as many ends as I can while I do that, so that I don't have to weave in as many ends. I'm gonna do a single crochet down the sides because I don't need to add a lot of extra length there, but I am going to do double crochet on the bottom because I do want to add a little extra length there. Let's get some yarn attached and let's get one step closer to being done. Oh, I'm so excited to be finishing this. I made it all the way down the side, doing a little finished edge, and I have rounded the corner, and I'm now doing a little double crochet border along the bottom. I definitely have been able to crochet over quite a few ends. There's obviously still gonna be a lot of them. If I can save myself, probably a couple dozen by the time I get all the way around this thing. That is way better than having to weave in every single one of them. Michael just called me. He is on the way home from the game store. He was asking if I was ready to get in bed and watch a show. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna try and get as much of this crocheting around the edge done before he gets home. And then I'm gonna get in bed with him and I will just work on weaving in ends. Because we can watch a show together, we can spend a little time together this evening, and that's something that I can easily work on while we're watching a show together, and that will be perfect. Happy Wednesday. We are So close to being finished with this shirt, I can taste it. Last night I did end up getting in bed with Michael and we watched a few episodes of Modern Family. I finished crocheting all the way around the edging of the shirt and I did weave in some ends. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of ends to weave in and it makes me a little sad. I wish that I had a threader because I feel like a lot of the ends are coming unfurled, and it makes it really hard to get it in to the needle. I probably should switch to my plastic needle that has a little larger eye. That would probably make my life a lot easier. I just wish I had a threader. I need to get a few of those because it would make my life a lot easier. That's the most annoying part, is getting it threaded through the thing every single time. But anyway, that's the big focus right now. I'm going to watch some stuff and just plug away at weaving in ends. And then once that is all done, I think what I'm going to do next is wash and dry it because I just want the yarn to be relaxed. I want to see what it looks like once it comes out of the wash, and then from there we'll make determinations about blocking, how much we want to do and what we want to do. I've got the last of some items for the winter Berg box engraving, and they should be done fairly soon. And actually, while that's happening, since we need to do it anyway, let's take a look. This is my bag or my basket where I have kind of sample pieces, leftover things, and I want to know if I have snowflake buttons in here, and if I do, how many. Because if I don't, then we just need to make some more. So I have the peppermint swirl ones, and these were my Nordic snowflake design. And then there's my Christmas tree ones, which are more charms than functional buttons, you know? The one style that I want is the one that I don't have. I guess so. So we need to make snowflakes, and I need to determine how many, because I don't know specifically how many buttons we're going to end up doing. And once I get it into the wash, obviously there's nothing I can do to make progress on it during that time, so that's when I'm going to start editing this vlog. Let's get to work. I've got my project here now. I have switched to my plastic needle because it has a larger eye. And there's just, it's like overwhelming. It's overwhelming right now. There's so many ends to weave in that it's like hard to know. It's hard to know where to even start. I was making my way last night while we were watching a show, kind of along the bottom rows. And I do think that I've woven in everything along the first bottom handful of rows. I see some that are on the inside here, so let's maybe tackle those. I got to like the sleeve part, and the sleeves have a lot of ends to weave in, and I was getting overwhelmed by how it was looking. So I can see like these little spots here, so I'm just going to work my way along here, I think. And to be honest, a lot of these ends are not being woven in to the level of care that I probably would if this was like a commissioned piece where it was going to somebody who was paying good money for it, because if you were buying this, you'd be paying good money. I would feel a lot more obligated to do a really incredibly thorough job. But here's the truth. I know that this shirt is not going to get worn with the frequency that would cause ends to come unwoven. It's going to be a wear it for Christmas parties and then it's going to probably go back in storage for the rest of the year kind of a deal. It's staying in my house. So if there's ends poking out, I can fix it, you know? Whereas if I'm sending it off to a customer, I'm never going to see it again, you know? So it's like I feel that finality of I have to get it right so that it stays nice for them for a super long time. So I'm not necessarily approaching this with the highest degree of, oh my gosh, I have to get this perfect. And that's okay. I think I might go crazy if I was. We continue on. I have just about woven in every end. The only ends left are the edges of the sleeves, I think, unless it's quite possible that there's, you know, 1 or 2 stragglers that I may have missed. But rather than weave in these ends, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a single crochet edge around these, because every other finished edge has a single crochet or double crochet border on it. And I would honestly much rather single crochet all around this thing than weave in any more ends. Yeah, I think that looks a little more finished. It's still like all the little points where it kind of like dips in for each of the squares. That's gonna be where the blocking is gonna come in handy, you know, because you can kind of mess with it and get it to lay a little straighter. I think blocking is gonna be what makes the biggest difference for that, of having a nice straight edge. On to the next sleeve and the last little bit here before we get this thing washed. Oh my gosh. After what feels like days, we have officially woven in all of the ends on this shirt. And now we need to get it looking relaxed and drapey and nice, because at the moment it's very stiff. It's not laying very cute, but like, it's a shirt. It is a shirt. And it's got a collar and like little lapels and everything. There's not a billion ends of yarn hanging everywhere. It's time to get this thing in the wash. And then while this thing is in the wash, I'm going to first of all stain the snowflake buttons. They are finished on the laser. I just went ahead and made 12 of them because that was what was like a full thing. I don't know how many of them we'll end up using, but here's what they look like. I'm gonna stain them, although I really don't need to stain them, do I? Actually, yeah, maybe I won't stain them. They already have like a nice contrast, and then I don't have to worry about them like drying and everything. Let's just leave them as is. We'll add those on, but while this is in the wash, I'm gonna start editing this vlog because that is still a big part of this whole puzzle. Do you ever just want to do a little happy dance after your ends are woven in? It's like, yes, yes. And I'm gonna celebrate with a little afternoon snack and probably also a cup of coffee. I am feeling like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get this thing done. Thanks to you guys. Chat, this is huge. We did it. Shirt is in the wash. I've taken all the cozy measures. Blanket, crochet pillow that actually is super comfy for editing. I have a snack, cucumbers, and Dorothy Lynch dressing. Never was there more an elite snack. Nice little addition to my editing is a fresh cup of coffee. I'm actually super excited to edit. I think after all of the like weaving ends and just like, it was like a marathon of all the unfun parts about crocheting, working on that shirt. And I feel like now I just want to do something else. So anyway, I'm gonna settle in. Want to see something? Wow. I made this. It's out of the dryer. It is so much softer, drapier, overall better, which we knew that was going to happen. It's the magic of yarn. Michael's already in bed, so he is not going to be trying this on tonight, but I'm unwell. This is beautiful. I at least wanted to show it to you on a hanger tonight. And I will obviously get Michael to try this on. I don't know, you guys. This may not even need to be blocked. I want to see it on him to make that determination for sure. It's hanging pretty nice. It's going to have more shape once it's on him, obviously, like when there's an actual person filling it in. The collar isn't hanging weird. The lapels aren't hanging weird. Like the shape that they are is the shape that they should be. The sleeves and the edges aren't There's a little bit of, you know, kind of scalloping from the squares, but it's not dramatic. And especially like if you look at the back, really nice and square. But that's all for me tonight, you guys. It's 9:30. It's time for me to get in bed. And I will hopefully be able to show this to you with him wearing it in the daylight. 1 year in the making. And this project is finally coming to a close. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so relieved. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. What do you think? But only if you think nice things. If you hate it, just keep that to yourself. Hi. It's Thursday. I'm in a good mood today because a lot of cool things have been happening. And I'm in a great mood because we're about to finish this shirt. My goal is I want to get these buttons on by the time Michael's on his afternoon break, so I can have him try this on. Technically, I can have him try it on whether the buttons are finished or not, but we do have our snowflake buttons ready to go, and I have an actual sewing needle, and in my little tiny sewing kit, some red thread, which I thought would go perfectly for this Christmassy outfit. Plus, what other opportunity am I going to want to use red thread? You know, usually I want white or black or something. So figured if there's an opportunity where it makes sense to use the red, I should take it. So for the placement of the buttons, I hadn't really looked at it yet to see like where I wanted to put them. And it actually works out perfectly because I was like, I don't have buttonholes on this. So I was hoping that the gaps in the granny squares would work. And I tested it out, and the buttons do fit through like the gaps. And there's a center gap in each of these rectangles right here, this one. So that's what I'm going for. And I'm just going to place one button in the center of each granny square. Probably with these holes, I could have sewn on actual thread, or I'm sorry, actual yarn instead of thread. But here we are. That should be on there nice and snug. Oh my gosh. How cute. How cute is that? We're just, we're fully embracing the funkiness of this piece, you know? Why would it have normal buttons when we could do snowflake ones? Today was a great day. I went live on my Hot Cocoa Bomb account and we made a bunch of chai bombs. I don't know if I've talked about the fact that I created an ebook with everything I've learned about hot cocoa bombs over the past 6 years, but I did, and I didn't really know what to expect in terms of how many people would want to purchase it. But as of today, I've sold 134 copies over on my TikTok, which is just madness. That's crazy. So that was super exciting. I also had one of my regulars from the lives send me a message and say that they wanted to order a couple of hooded scarves. The Wild Oleander hooded scarf. I wore that hooded scarf for a couple of my really cold markets last year, and they definitely got some attention from people. Just got that commission all set up after I ended my live. So that's great. I don't get a ton of custom crochet orders, but I am willing to make them. I just kind of take it on a case-by-case basis. Here's the first two buttons. And I've been asking my followers over on TikTok to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that everyone can stay connected with me once Hot Cocoa Bomb season is over. And as of right now, we are at 953 subscribers, which means we're probably going to hit 1,000 like in the next few days. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm just so excited. So if you are watching this and you're here from my Hot Cocoa Bomb lives, first of all, leave a comment because I'd love to know how many of you are watching. And secondly, thank you. Thank you for helping me and supporting me. You guys are truly the best. All right, I'm gonna keep sewing these buttons on and I'll meet you back when Michael is here and ready to try this thing on. I'm gonna see if we need this thing blocked or not. So far, from the back at least, it looks nice. Okay, so that's unbuttoned.
The sleeve is so whack.
It's big. But that's what I had to do to make the shirt wider. Okay, and now we're buttoning.
I don't know how to button this.
We're buttoning buttons. Oh my gosh. It's working, Michael. Bruh. Okay. It fits, and it's not snug and it's not snug and yucky feeling, right?
Oh, hi. Can I help you? Say hello to the camera.
Buttons and such.
I got wings.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, that is going to wrap it up for today's vlog. I am so pleased with how this turned out. I am so... Oh, by the way, we're not going to block it. I think it looks great. I don't think it needs to be blocked. I can't even tell you how accomplished I feel to check this item off of my list and to know that we are ready for all of the Christmas parties, for a little Christmas greeting card, if you will. And I want to let you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to subscribe. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers, and it's only gonna get more fun from here. I have so many other fun things planned for this channel, so many fun projects like this, projects that are gonna be clothing pieces, projects that are gonna be home decor pieces. I just love crocheting. And I love making stuff and I love sharing it with you guys. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking the video. All the things that help me find more crochet friends. I really, truly appreciate it more than you know. And a new fun little thing is memberships. I do have memberships open now on my account. You get a cool little badge next to your name. We're gonna do some members only stuff in the future here, but as of this vlog forward, there will be a little end credit screen to thank all of the members of this channel who are gonna help to continue making this thing possible. So if you are a member, look for your name at the end of the screen. And if you'd like to be on the next one, you can hit the join button, become a member of the Berg's Nest. And I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. Bye.